Okay, so I got another request to kind of go through a little bit of a tutorial on a song called, what is it again? Oh, yeah, What's Left for Me by Days of the New. So here's the thing. First of all, it's tuned to C sharp minor. So basically, instead of your E standard, okay, this is, okay, I jerk. I'm just explaining something here, pal. Do you mind? Do you mind? Thanks. So yeah, C sharp minor, right? So you get the C sharp here. Okay, instead of your E, you're gonna go down to C. I'll give you a couple more. I'll give you the harmonic. Okay, so you're going to do C sharp, then you're going to do G sharp. That's G as in garbage, right? Which is the 7th fret of that C sharp. Okay. And then the next one after that is C sharp again. So this is kind of drop C here. So what you can do is pluck your D string and the one that you've got to C sharp now, kind of bring it down to it, right? Match them up so they sound the same. In other words, there's no warbling or anything in the notes. Anyway, next, what you're going to do is not continue on with your regular tuning. It's going to be tuned to E. So you're dropping this down to E. It sounds kind of nasty, honestly. All right, that's the 3rd fret on that, what would be the D string. Okay, and then after that, you're going to go to another G sharp. So the 5th string here, that's what the 5th string is, by the way, guys. I'm going to refer to it different later on, but whatever. So this string right here, the 5th string, is now a G sharp. So again, you can just pluck the 2nd string, which is this, would be the B, and kind of match them, pair them off. Make sure that they are tuned the same. And then you got the E. The last one is an E. So you can pluck these two, the 3rd and the 1st, basically like that. So you can hear that. That's really the odd man out in this. Okay, so I'm going to try and explain this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to call this the 1st string, and I'm going to call this the 6th string, just for the sake of counting it out. I know it goes the other way. I know that's the right way to do it. I'm just doing it this way so that even the most beginner of beginners can understand what I'm talking about, right? So I'm going to call that the 1st string. Whereas as you go through learning, you should learn that that's actually the 1st string. So anyway, so I'm going to say this, the string number and the fret, obviously, to let you know what I'm playing, okay? So we're starting off on the 3rd string, the 7th fret. Right? Sound familiar? First note of the song, rather. And then you're going to have the next string open, that horribly sounding E. Can't get around it. And then you're going to put your index on that, the 5th fret on the 2nd, or the 5th string. I'm going to fuck this up the entire time. The 5th string down here, right? And then open that up. Okay? So basically, if you know what an octave looks like, usually it's like that and you skip a string and then go down to the next 2 frets over, right? You're going to do the opposite. So it's going to sound like this, right? Those are the notes you're playing with there, okay? Now, there's an actual plucking pattern here that kind of goes throughout the entire song. So you're going to go from the 7 to the open to the 5, back to the open, and then go up to the open, 1st or 6th string there, and then back down on the 5th string on the 5th fret. So like this. Oops. And by the way, I'm not going to say that I'm going to be able to play this perfectly because it's been years since I've actually played this tune. These videos I put up are like way behind, right? Okay. So the first bit does that with the 7, right? And then you take your finger off the 7, keeping that other index finger on the 5th fret there, and start that pattern over again. Right? Okay. So, what he does there after you get that index back onto the 7th, so it does this. It goes 7, it skips a string, goes to that 5th fret there. Okay? And then come back down to the 7. Right? And then you're going to go to the open one after it. That sounds awful. Okay? That's the pattern there. And then you add the top two again. So. Okay? So that's the first group. So try to remember that you're plucking that same pattern, the down, right? Oops. Right? And then does the and then it's going to do the same exact pattern of plucking, but we're going to slide down to here where you're going to have that third string is going to be open. So that string there, right? This one, and then you're going to put your pinky finger on the 4th string here on the 4th fret, and your index finger. This one's a weird stretch, okay? Your index finger on the 1st fret on the 5th string, okay? And then you're going to want to have that last 6th string open. So, hi jerk. So, open in the same plucking structure, right? So, 1, 2, 3, and you come back on the 2, and then go up. Okay? And then you're going to be putting your index or your ring finger down on the 3rd, on that 3rd string, and off. That's the pedaling, or not pedaling, the I guess the modulation of this little thing, where the 3 and then the open and the 3, right? Kind of like with the 7 and the open and the 7. For that, right? This is going to be like this. Right? Or no. Okay. And you're going to end on that 4 there, right? Because that, you can slide up from this 3 to the 7. Back into this. Okay, anyway, you get the point, right? Now, the second time that you go down to this, the 410, that one, when you get back to this part, this is the little rundown, okay? It starts at the 4th string down on the 2nd fret, you're going to go from 2, O, the next string down, 2, O, and then 3, O. Okay? Wait. Smoother than that, but I honestly don't give a shit. You have to practice it. I don't. You're the one who wants to learn it. Anyway, I already played the damn thing. So, from there on, once you come down that little walk down, you're going to put your middle finger, that one, right, on the 3rd fret, on the 1st string, okay? And you're going to skip that 2nd string. Keep the 3rd string, on the 3rd string here, you're going to put it on the 2nd fret. So you're going to be like this. Okay? And what you're going to want to do is play the same plucking sequence only once with this 3, okay? Because I'm going to show you, because this has a little bit of weird timing. It's 6/8 time. So you're going to come down to the, right? So you're going to go 1, 3, 4, 3, 5, 4. Sorry, it's awkward for me to play like this. Okay. And what that goes into is, instead of coming back down to the 3rd, because you only play that once, so you go, okay, and then you let go of that 3rd, keeping your finger on that 2nd fret, starting from that fret, you'll play this sequence over and over again. Sorry, it's like this. Now, I know that sounds fucked up, and I just kind of fucked up, but anyway, listen to this. Right? See it here? That's the pattern. Fuck, I keep screwing this up. I'm sorry. Right? And then that little funky bit at the end. So, right, it goes. You go up to the 4th, hammer onto the 5th. You do the 5th on the 4th string and the 5th on the 5th. And then you hammer on from the 2nd to the 4th on that 4th string. And then down to the 2nd and 3rd fret, you're going to do a hammer on pull off. And then off to open. So. I'm screwing it up. Yeah, it goes back up to that high part there on the 5th fret. So it comes back from the little funky bit. Okay, again, we're back to this pattern. That's just on the 5th fret, the only one finger on that 5th fret. Right? So you're going to play that once, and then go into the 7, coming back down here with your ring finger, and then go 7-0-5-0, and then up to the last string, back down to the 5. Jesus, this is hard to do because of the position I'm in. Like that. All right. And then you do this part to go into the verse. You're going to go to the 8th on the 1st string, and you're going to go to the 3rd string each time here until you get down to the 6th fret. It's going to go to the 4th, so like this. Okay, and then back into that open 0-5-0 rolling kind of rhythm. You're going to keep hitting that open string then. That's during the verse. You use the low C sharp. And then you go. Okay. And then that first verse, that's how that rhythm goes over and over again. You can figure it out as you play the song or listen to the song, right? And then when we go into the chorus, you're going to go with the first fret on the 2nd string with your index finger, and you get your pinky or maybe even your ring finger, whatever the hell you want to use, a fucking fish, your big toe. Anyway, whatever you want to use, so it's the 1st and the 3rd, and you're going to leave the 3rd and the 4th string. These 2 strings here, they're going to be open, okay? So 1 and 3, so it's going to be like this. And you're going to strum from the 2nd string down, right? The 2nd string down. Don't hit this bass string in this. Okay? There's the chord. Take some for yourself, right? And then you're going to go up to the 5th fret, and you're going to put your middle finger, or however you want to do it. I just find it easier this way. Middle finger on the 5th fret on the 2nd string, and your ring finger on the 5th fret on the 5th string, and you're going to strum all the strings, right? You're going to leave the rest of them open, like this. And go back to the 1 and 3. Next chord right there. All right, you're gonna go 5-7-7 as if you're playing a regular power chord in E standard with the rest of the open strings. Okay, and that goes back into that 7-0-5 thing. Okay, now in this part, because when he's saying know in your mind that you've got to remember your name, probably because he was high as shit on heroin. That's not really a joke, that's actually true. So 7-0-5-0. Right, so you go near, 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 near. And then up to these top 2. Okay. But you only do that on the little bit of the intro here, okay? It's going to snap back to the regular pattern without the high bit. So what happens here is you're going to go 7-0-5-0 and then the high, right? That pattern, and then open it up. Same pattern, right? Come back to that 7. You remember the whole the whole back and forth. Jeez, Jeez, I hate this fucking position. Anyway, hang on. That. And then it goes up to the 8th, doing the same pattern. Basically, you're just crawling from the 7th to the 8th, getting that uneasy tension happening here. And then once the bass kicks in, you know, it kind of, right? You stop going to the high notes here, and you just start doing this pattern. 7-0-5-0-5-0, okay? Like this. Right? That's the kind of pattern that you're going to be doing here. So you would do the 7, and then you're going to drop it, right? And then go to the 8. Right? So basically you're bouncing between this open and this 5 instead of going up to the top, right? That drops down. After that, you'll figure it out with the rhythm of the song. After it drops down from this 8, the 8 here, right? It goes down to a 2. Okay? So it goes down to 2. And you're going to lead off with that 2, and you're just going to follow the same pattern. So you're going 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, 4. Okay, and that's going to lead you into that little run again where you go 2-0-2-0-3-0. Okay, and then back into the open. Right. And then okay, and then we're into the second verse, which you're going to do the same thing with the, right? Oh, sorry, right? But every once in a while, and you're going to have to listen to the song, because it happens every time he gets to the second stanza, and it's like basically in the line where he says, "Nothing suits my ass." It's a terrible line, but nothing suits his ass, apparently. So, right, you're going to go from this to the 3. Basically, you're just with the rest of the bits going on. Right? And then right? So basically that's just the alternative in this this verse. It happens basically every single time in the same place. So, you know, when he says nothing suits my ass, when he says suits, that's when you go to the 3. Or you know, when you know we can bring us all a bottle, when he says bring us all a bottle, right? Same idea. You know, remember a time when time was a friend and you could make him lend you a hand, you know, and then toasting on champagne or whatever and all that shit. And time just gets in your way, right? All that fun stuff. And then you go back into the, right? And you're basically done after that, because it goes back into the same thing I showed you before, 7-0-5-0, and then the 8-0-5-0. Right? Just screwing this up, man. But yeah, you just basically follow that pattern. It's the same idea. I've basically showed you every single riff in the song here. And then the song ends off, you know, with the same, you know, chords and whatever when he's singing the chorus. And you go back to what the beginning of the song is, right? Where you're doing the 705, right? And then the 4. Right? And then you do that funky thing. And then the end of the song is... Right? You'll get it. You'll get it. So just try to get that picking pattern down. If it's funky, you know, just shoot me a message in the comments, and you know, maybe I can try and help you out. But I'm pretty sure that of this rambling of how long I've been going on here, you'll get the and I fucked it up again, but you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, good luck. Let me know if you get it. If not, I apologize for wasting your time. But yeah, remember, it's in C sharp with the 2 E's here. Like, you gotta be, yeah, on heroin. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, take it easy. Good luck. I hope you get it.